Well, hey everybody, I am back, and I thought since this channel is starting over again, today would be the perfect time to learn Starting Over by Chris Stapleton. So let's get into it. So, Starting Over is recorded in the key of B flat. You are going to need to put a capo on fret 3 in order to play along with the recording. The guitar is tuned in standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E, all the way up, nothing weird there. And we are going to be playing chords in the key of G. So G, C, D. There's a few other chords that we'll get to when we get to that point. But let's go ahead and pick it up right from the intro. Okay, so the intro starts on a G chord, and this is going to be a modified G chord. You can see the little diagram down in the corner, but it is 3 on the low E string. You're gonna wanna use either your ring finger or your middle finger. I switch back and forth just out of habit from playing a G like this, but probably get used to your ring finger on fret 3. Then using this meaty part of your ring finger, mute the A string. So you don't want to push down, you don't want to hear it open, you just want it to be muted so that when you strum, all you hear is that low E string on fret 3. Then the D and G strings are both open. The B string is going to be open, and we're going to do some hammer-ons onto fret 1 and then some pull-offs. And then your pinky finger is on fret number 3. So this is what the chord sounds like just on its own. There's the G chord. Now, this entire song is really based on the feel of the strumming pattern. So again, I'm not very good with strumming patterns. I just kind of feel it out. I will try and put down as best as I can the strumming pattern along the bottom of the screen. But this is what it sounds like full speed, and then we'll break it down. So that's pretty much the strumming pattern for the whole song. Again, there's a few different parts, and we'll get to that. But the intro starts on the G chord, and you want to go back and forth between the open B string and pressing down on the first fret, again, relative to the capo on the B string. So here is that strumming pattern for the intro, slowed down. You want to do a quick upstroke and then right back into a down. Starts on an upstroke. There's a couple times where you're just strumming some of the lower strings, and then a lot of strumming the all of the strings all at once. So here it is again, very slowly. You want to work on getting that feel down slowly first before you go on to anything else. If you don't, I've seen lots of other tutorials on YouTube. Very few people actually have the feel of the song down the way that Chris plays it. That strumming pattern is one of the most important things. So until you get that feel down and can start to do it at speed, don't move on to anything else. So again, I'll do it one time slow, and then I'll do it at speed. So this is the slow. Here it is at full speed. And again, the difference is the only thing I'm doing is putting my first finger either open on the B string or fret 1 on the B string. So the intro consists of a G chord and then a C chord. You basically just move your ring finger from fret 3 on the low E string to fret 3 on the A string. And again, you want to use kind of the tip of your ring finger now to mute the low E string. You don't want to push it down, you just want it to be muted. Then you're pushing on fret 3 of the A string and using this kind of this part of your ring finger to mute the D string as well. So your ring finger is really doing 3 different jobs, but all you want to hear is that. Now it sounds kind of crappy on its own, but when you're strumming the full thing, you won't notice those muted E and D strings. You leave all your other fingers the same, your pinky finger is still on fret 3, and we're still going to use our first finger to go up and down on the first fret of the B string. It's the exact same strumming pattern as the G that we just learned. It just goes back and forth. So this is the C pattern. that's it. You play G, you play that G pattern once, you play the C pattern once, and then he gets into the verse. So to summarize and recap the intro, it starts on a G, goes to a C. Here's how it sounds slowly. That's the whole intro right there. Let's get into the verse. Okay, so the verse of this song is very similar to the intro. Again, it's the exact same strumming pattern. The only thing that's different is you're not going to be doing as many hammer-ons and pull-offs as you are in the intro. So basically, the B string stays open while Chris is singing, and then during the breaks between each line, that's when we're going to do the hammer-ons and pull-offs on the B string. So the verse goes back to a G chord, same strumming pattern. Well, the road rolls out like a welcome mat to a better place than the one we're at. So did you notice there, you are only hammering on and pulling off in the open part. So this is the verse broken down really slow. Well, the road rolls out like a welcome mat. Let's do that again with no singing. This is the G chord. And then just goes to the C. To a better place. Then he goes to a D chord, standard D chord. Use your thumb to mute the low E string just so you don't hear it. You don't want to push down, just mute. You can actually play the A string just to kind of get a more full sound. A is in the D chord, so it's open A, open D. 2 on the G string with your first finger. 3 on the B string with your ring finger. And then 2 again on the high E string with your middle finger. And this time we're going to be pulling off from 2 on the high E to open on the high E. And this is how that chord goes. I ain't got no kind of plan. So the whole time he's singing, it's a full D chord. When he stops singing, you open up that high E string. Just lift off your middle finger. So again, this is how it goes. I'll sing, and then you can just listen to the strumming pattern. I ain't got no kind of plan. So here's that D chord. I won't sing. After that, he goes right back to the C chord that we learned before with the open B and then hammer on 1. I've had all of this down I can stand. It's the same strumming pattern for every chord all the way through. So the first half of the verse, we'll slow it down, play it together, is G, C, D, C again. So here we go. Well, the road rolls out like a welcome mat to a better place than the one we're at. And I ain't got no kind of plan. And I've had all of this down I can stand. It's the exact same thing for the second half of the verse. Make sure and practice that strumming pattern over and over and over again. It really is the defining characteristic of this song. Let's jump into the chorus. Okay, the chorus of this song, for almost every single chord, you are going to want to keep your ring finger and your pinky finger down on fret 3 of the B string and the E string. So just kind of get used to feeling that there. We're going to use our other 2 fingers to move to different chords. The only chord that's different will be a D chord. I will show you that later, but otherwise, just keep those fingers planted. It might not be exactly like the recording, but if you are playing this, especially solo acoustic, that will really help your chords sound a lot fuller. So the chorus starts on an E minor. That's an open E, and then fret 2 and 2 on the A and D string with your first two fingers. Open G, and then of course, these are planted down. The second chord is a D over F sharp, and the only thing you do is just move each of your fingers opposite directions. So instead of fret 2 on the A string, you do fret 2 on the low E, and you move your middle finger to fret 2 on the G string. You want to use the back part of your first finger to mute the A string when you're pushing down on the low E. So there's that chord. So the chorus starts off, it don't matter to me. And then it goes to a G chord. This G is just like the G chord in the intro and the verses, except instead of an open B string, again, we have our ring finger planted on fret 3 of the B string. So third fret of the low E string, mute the A string with the back of your finger, open D, open G. There's that chord. So here's how the first half of the chorus goes. It don't matter to me. So that strumming pattern, a quick little up, and then you want to do a half down and then kind of a full down on the beat. So it don't matter to me. Here's that again without singing. One more time. When you're coming back up, as you're changing chords, just kind of let that pick rake across the other strings. Again, it don't matter to me wherever we are. That's a C chord. So instead of the G, we just move your middle finger to the third fret of the A string. Again, mute the low E with it, mute the D string with the back of it. Wherever we are is where I wanna be. So the chords are E minor, D over F sharp, G, C, D over F sharp, G. The chorus repeats that same pattern, E minor, D over F sharp, G, C, D over F sharp, G, 2 different times. Here's how that goes slowly. It don't matter to me wherever we are is where I wanna be. Do it again. And honey, for once in our life, let's take our chances and roll the dice. Then we go to a D chord, and I can be your lucky penny. That's just a normal D. We are not going to lift up our middle finger from the second fret of the high E string like we did in the verse. Just keep it there the whole time. I can be your lucky penny. Here's that without singing. Then we're back to a C, the same one from the chorus with our ring and pinky finger still down. You can be my four-leaf clover, starting over. Goes back into the intro again. So here is, let's do the chorus again. This is the only spot in the song where the strumming pattern is basically different other than the bridge. So it's really important to get this one down as well. Those kind of half strums really kind of accentuate the beat, especially if you are playing solo acoustic this. So here's the chorus again. It don't matter to me wherever we are is where I wanna be. And honey, for once in our lives, let's take our chances and roll the dice. I can be your lucky penny. You can be my four-leaf clover, starting over. Back to the intro. So there's the chorus. Verse 2 is exactly the same as verse 1 as far as strumming pattern and chords. He is just singing different words, so if you need help with verse 2, go back and rewatch that section. But for now, let's jump into the last part we need to learn, which is the bridge. All right, the bridge of the song contains one chord we haven't learned yet, which is an A minor. So use your thumb to kind of mute the low E string. You don't want to push down, just mute it. Then it's open A, fret 2 with your middle finger on the D string, fret 2 with your ring finger on the G string, fret 1 on the B string with your first finger, and then open E. So all those together sound like this. Then we're going to do just a standard E minor. So instead of having our ring finger and pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the B and E, it's just going to be totally open. So that's open E, fret 2 on the A string, fret 2 on the D string, open, open, open on G, B, and E. Back to the G from the intro. So we're not going to do any hammer-ons. It's just going to be totally open on that B string. So the bridge goes like this. He starts with just a big down strum on the whole chord on beat 1 of the bridge. To a D. So the first time it's A minor, E minor, G. The second time it's A minor, E minor, to a D. So we're coming off of the intro, the interlude between chorus 2 and the bridge. I'll kind of play leading up to that, and then you'll hear how the bridge chords come in. So starting over. Starting over. Here we go to the bridge. Open up that again on the high E string, lift just your middle finger off. That strumming pattern again is a little bit different just because of the big down strums and some of those upstrokes on that D. Just kind of listen along. I will play it slowly so you can hear the whole thing. Then it goes back to the chorus and back to the intro, and that is the whole song. Let's go ahead and do a full playthrough. Back to a G for the verse. Well, the road rolls out like a welcome mat. To a C, to a better place than the one we're at. To a D, and I ain't got no kind of plan. See, I've had all of this town I can stand. Remember to get that strumming pattern to a G. And I got friends out on the coast. To a C, we can jump in the water and see what floats. D, we've been saving for a rainy day. C, let's beat the storm and be on our way. To the chorus, E minor. It don't matter to me, wherever we are is where I wanna be. And honey, for once in our lives, let's take our chances and roll the dice. D, I can be your lucky penny. You can be my four-leaf clover. Starting over. To a C. Here we go into verse 2, back to G. This might not be an easy time. There's rivers to cross and hills to climb. D. Some days we might fall apart, and some nights might feel cold and dark. Back to a G. Nobody wins afraid of losing, and the hard roads are the ones worth choosing. Someday we'll look back and smile. See, and know it was worth every mile. Back to the chorus, E minor. It don't matter to me, wherever we are is where I wanna be. And honey, for once in our lives, let's take our chances and roll the dice. I can be your lucky penny. You can be my four-leaf clover. Starting over. See, starting over. Getting ready to go to the bridge with an A minor. E minor, D. Chorus. It don't matter to me, wherever we are is where I wanna be. And honey, for once in our lives, let's take our chances and roll the dice. I can be your lucky penny. You can be my four-leaf clover. Outro. Starting over. Just G and C. Just like the intro. Starting over. Falsetto. G and C one more time. End on a G. And there you go. That's the whole song. Starting Over. Well, hey, I hope that helps you learn the song Starting Over by Chris Stapleton. It is a great song off his new album. In fact, I'm going to be doing plenty more tutorials of that entire album, as well as past songs from him I've just never got to yet. But I just want to thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you haven't already, please do that and click the bell icon so that you can be notified when I release new videos. And leave me comments. If you have questions, if I did not explain something clearly enough, I will try to respond to every comment that comes in, and leave me suggestions for what other songs you want to learn. Thanks again for tuning in.